Up to $60 billion in exports could vanish. Over 3 million jobs are now at risk. And it all began with a single decision. Hong Kong has suspended all postal services with the United States, a move that seemed minor, yet it is now igniting a new wave of global trade tension. Postal suspension, a symbolic response with far-reaching meaning. The decision to suspend all postal services between Hong Kong and the U.S. was not arbitrary. It marked one of the first concrete responses to the new tariffs introduced by the U.S. administration on Chinese imports. As one of Asia's major trade hubs, Hong Kong rarely severs any commercial lifeline. Yet this time, it has chosen to withdraw from a vital conduit, one that handled millions of parcels, from consumer goods to business-critical shipments. According to analysts, this is no longer just a pause in parcel movement. It is Hong Kong's way of signaling its readiness to assert itself amid growing trade tensions. Economic ripple effects, losing the U.S. market, losing value chains. Internal reports estimate that the new tariffs could reduce Hong Kong's annual exports to the United States by $50 to $60 billion. In just the first 3 months, the economic impact may already range from $30 to $40 billion. The industries most directly affected include electronic and industrial component exports, logistics and warehousing services, maritime shipping and air freight operations. Approximately 1 million workers in Hong Kong are directly employed in these sectors. When indirect effects are factored in, such as suppliers, service providers, and domestic consumption, the number of people impacted could reach 2 to 3 million, nearly half the city's population. Particularly vulnerable are small and medium-sized businesses, many of which rely heavily on the U.S. market and are now facing severe cash flow challenges. As logistics costs surge, profit margins in several industries have dropped dangerously close to zero. Political realignment. Hong Kong moves closer to the mainland. Beyond economics, the postal suspension has taken on a political tone. Officials in Hong Kong stated that the region will not yield to foreign pressure. In parallel, authorities in Beijing pledged their support, declaring they will shield Hong Kong from external economic strain. These developments have placed Hong Kong in closer alignment with mainland China, reinforcing the view from Washington that the city can no longer be considered an autonomous economic entity. As a result, the U.S. revoked Hong Kong's special trade status. American capital began to withdraw from local equity markets. The Hang Seng Index is projected to fall by 10 to 15% if tensions persist over the next quarter. Once a neutral facilitator of global commerce, Hong Kong now finds itself caught in the middle of a geopolitical divide. What started as a procedural decision is now reshaping the region's identity on the world stage. Global domino effect, a local move with global consequences. If the trade relationship between Hong Kong and the U.S. remains severed over the long term, the consequences will extend well beyond the region itself. Global trade is an interdependent system, and Hong Kong plays a crucial role as a gateway between East and West. A disruption here could reverberate across continents. Logistics experts warn that monthly disruptions could result in hundreds of millions of dollars in lost trade. Over 500,000 workers may be affected as early as the next fiscal quarter. Major shipping routes may need restructuring, potentially increasing transportation costs by 20 to 30%. On the social front, Hong Kong faces the risk of renewed unrest, particularly among younger demographics already familiar with mass protests. In this case, economic pressures could act as a catalyst for broader societal strain. For the United States, while the tariff policy reflects strategic intent, the cost of losing Hong Kong as a trade intermediary is non-negligible. American companies may need to reconfigure supply chains, driving up production and logistics costs, ultimately impacting consumers at home.